Are you looking for a new colony sim where you can spend hours just messing around on another planet trying to survive? I often think what it'd be like living on Mars, and honestly, it sounds pretty terrible. Living off potatoes and carrots, drilling into rocks, wandering blind through harsh dust storms, and even worse, socializing. Hey everyone, it's Marco here, and today I'll be showcasing with you a colony sim that reminds me a lot of titles like RimWorld, Oxygen Not Included, Space Haven, but it's all wrapped up in this incredible looking 3D environment. This game is called Red Dust Colony, and coming up I'll be sharing with you this brilliant indie gem that's still in development, but still looking so much fun. Now, I don't just cover games willy-nilly, but there's just something about it that just kept me coming back for more. I'm not sure if it's the look and the feel of the game that kept me hooked for hours on end, or maybe it's because this game is still so early in development that the feedback you provide to the small two-person team could have a big impact on its release. But I'll get more into that later. For a title that's still in early development, it kept me more engaged than the movie The Martian. You know, the one with Matt Damon where he tried his best to not do a Matt Damon impression. Much like that movie, this is a survival colony sim, except instead of going in solo, there's 3 people to care for. Well, for now. Before you start, you get to choose the terrain type, the map size, and the difficulty. But because it's still a demo for now, all of those are locked away, and you just get the standard parameters. Next, you'll get to choose the 3 unfortunate saps that will be joining you in this journey. The crew come with their own different traits, their skills and attributes that, if you've played other colony sims similar to this, you'll feel right at home here and know more or less what to expect. One might be better at construction, one might be better at cooking, and one might be better at asking people to subscribe to my channel if they're enjoying my videos. Off you go, choosing where you want to place your Mars lander, trying to find the best resources like copper or iron in the rocks nearby. Once you land, you can just straight up start stripping away your little ship like a fancy car in a shady neighborhood. Luckily, the game gives you some starting resources like the construction components and some ready-to-eat meals. Like with other colony sims, you'll just give the orders to your crew and then they'll hopefully handle the rest depending on schedules and priorities. Now, because you're in space, building is tricky, but for now you can just expand your ship by adding in more hull components to it. It's very simple to do. Not too big, but just enough to add in a toilet and some beds for now. At the moment, it's still very basic, so people won't complain if you're using the loo out in the open, so I just like to pretend that the crew are in a throuple in a long-term relationship, and nothing will seem to bother them. This is post-edit Marco just jumping in to say, remember I was talking about that the game's still very much in active development and the feedback that you provide can make a difference? Well, look, now we have Windows thanks to the suggestions in the Discord. So yes, it's not earth-shattering, but hey, I'll cover it later on, but let's just say it's very cool to see the feedback you provide actually getting made in the game. When it comes to energy collection, you get different types. You'll start off with solar, so you have these solar panels, but then when you advance your tech tree, you'll get things like these massive windmills for wind energy, as well as these static rod things I don't know too much about. What is great though is the wires work really well in order to connect everything. It's pretty simple. You just click and drag and it all goes very simply. There's only a single story, so you just basically move things around. It shows you how much energy consumption there is, and maybe you want to even add in a battery or 2 to keep the lights on at night. Another major component in the game is the mining. As you can see in the bottom right corner, it makes up one of the 4 actions you can do in the game. So there's going to be a lot. It's quite simple for now. You're going to be collecting the things around you. So you'll be mining the iron, the copper via these rocks, maybe some ice, as well as the substrate to make some walls in future when you want to expand your hull. You'll get to place everything in these storage areas, but more importantly, you'll need to refine everything with these machines. They can crush everything up, they can process things. They work very well, and you want to make sure that you've got enough energy to keep them going. Every now and again, a rocket comes along and says, hey, do you want some free supplies? Which I say yes, absolutely, because sometimes you want some more food or maybe some more copper wire, because sometimes you just forget to produce those items. Most of the time, you can create things pretty easily with the machines that you have available. Sometimes you might need a crafting desk to make some more intricate components, but for the most part, creating things like furniture and decor, as well as other items in your base is pretty easy to do. I do hope to see some rare resources that are further out, as this could allow for more complex components, as well as more risk. When it comes to that risk, I want to feel like Matt Damon, like in The Martian, every time I go outside. Just one wrong move and my guy will blow away screaming, "I'm Matt Damon," over and over again. Then when it comes to the food, the game also tries to follow real-world mechanics like nutrition that are really impressive. Most games lean into the fantasy side of things, but Red Dust Colony seems to be going for more of the realistic route than anything else. For starters, you'll not only be monitoring your crew's hunger, sleep, bladder, and happiness, but even the food's nutritional info is displayed on the side. That means that you'll be able to see how much protein and carbs you'll be getting, like your New Year's resolution is getting back into shape, and you've just become a full-blown gym bunny. Sure, it's just a placeholder for now, but I can't remember seeing this in a game before, and it's quite unique. What are your thoughts? Is it too much? Is it overkill? Do you think it's a welcome addition to the colony sim genre? For me, I think it is. I've been playing so many fantasy-based ones that don't care about any of this that it's quite nice, and I think it's quite rare to see one that's going so hard into the realistic approach to trying to survive. Unfortunately, it's just a placeholder for now. Same goes for some of the other elements, like their traits and their mood, but it is still cool to see what's possible. But eventually, you'll be growing a wider variety of other vegetables like carrots and some potatoes. No meat yet, so if you really want to get technical, the crew might be a bit low on EPA or DHA, but I'll let the nutritionists debate in the comment section about how important those are. Maybe some algae would be included as alternative sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Who knows? But your plants take a few days depending on what they are in order to be harvested and need to be watered every now and again to keep them growing. I really enjoyed just watching things grow as well as just the crew's animations in general. Ever since playing The Sims back in the day, I really got attached to see what's happening, especially in 3D, and it's great to see it here. And yes, your crew can starve, especially if you're not watching their food intake. Hopefully the dev can include some low food warnings, as you can't just magically make some more food. And if someone dies, they kind of just lay there, and others will just carry on walking over them without a care in the world, slowly closing their eyes as they drift off into an endless slumber. Speaking of endless slumber, today's video is sponsored by Manta Sleep. I feel like now that I'm in my 30s, prioritizing good sleep has become so important to me, and maybe for others out there too. I've been using the Manta Sound Sleep Mask, which has got these little built-in Bluetooth speakers, so I'll just put on my favorite podcast or audiobook and I'm back to sleep in no time, much like the crew members in this game. Plus it lets in no light, it's adjustable, it's breathable, and it feels super premium, like I'm snoozing in first class. There are other versions to choose from too, and Manta Sleep even have their own pro nap movement, which is all about staying healthy through better rest and regular naps. Check them out in the link below and use the code DISTRACTED10 for 10% off. Anyways, back to the game. Now, because this is a colony sim, it's really cool to see the various social aspects to it. Every now and again, they'll have a little chit-chat, plus they have set times of the day for them to eat and just catch up on the day. Hey man, did you catch the game yesterday? No, Akira, we're on Mars. It's just dust out here. Again, this is still pretty basic, but it could be fleshed out later, and it looks pretty interesting. However, something subtle is the voices, which I really enjoy. I feel like it adds a lot of immersion. Actually, all the little extra sounds that go on to add that feeling that I'm just living in this little station millions of miles away from Earth. It's pretty cool. I would like to see how these social aspects in the game get expanded. It would be great to see friendships or romantic interests blossom, as that could add some personal stories to the game to keep you engaged. What do you think? How should the game go? Have more people and make it focus on technology like games like Timberborn? Or maybe keep it closed, maybe 10 people maximum so that they can flesh out the social aspects of it. Let me know in the comment section what you think is best. And yes, this demo also comes with a tech tree. Right now it's more of a sapling than a full-blown redwood, but its branches are still enough to get the idea of what to expect, especially when you see what can come next. Once I had my research table built, I could choose from a range of familiar upgrades and unlocks, things like air filtration, water production, furniture, decor, things like that. I mean, I must say I love the look of these different items. You can tell a lot of hard work has been put into the designs of everything, like just the furniture and just the different production machines. It looks really cool. Something else you get to do here is research air filters to improve your air quality. but right now it's just for looks. Like other Space Colony sims, it can show you the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, so I can't wait to see my crew suffocating as someone forgets to close the door properly. This all ties into the realism, and that's something I really appreciate. So like right now, you can just build a giant warehouse of a base, but in the future, it'll be cool to section off places because the air quality will start to struggle. And then recently, some danger has been added to the game in the form of dust storms. Because you're on Mars, soon you'll be covered in this raging dust storm that will surround your base. I feel the dev nailed the look of the storm. It looks very menacing, and overall when it's just covering everyone, it just looks really cool. You could keep everyone indoors, but you have the option of disabling that, and they can just wander outside aimlessly trying to find where to go. It is pretty messed up, but hey, Marco needs his copper. I do feel like the dev could make it a bit harder, a bit more challenging. Right now it doesn't pose much of a risk. The dust storm I think lasts about 2 days, and then comes back every couple of them. It is a very neat mechanic, and I can't wait to see how it expands. Like maybe the dust storm can not only make your equipment dusty, because right now they need cleaning, but maybe they can break down, or maybe your crew get blown away, very far away, and they can get stranded. I don't know, but I like what I see so far. Now, as much as I can go on about this demo, it's still just that, a demo. Anything can change at any given moment. And you know what? That is the best part for me. Myself, as well as a few others, have been constantly giving suggestions and feedback in the studio's Discord server. If there's enough push for a feature, the dev will listen and try to include it. Naturally, there are some tasks that are much harder than others, and there are still a lot of bugs, but I've never been part of a game this early in development, especially showing this much potential. And that makes it feel so rewarding, like seeing the little changes that you were a part of. It's incredible. Most times you'll only arrive at the very end of a game's production, but yeah, it feels almost like you're part of the team. The developer is super friendly, very responsive, and honestly, I can't wait to see what this year has in store for the team. So sure, there's no set release date yet, but if you see the potential in this game like I do yourself a favor, jump into the Discord, the link's in the description, request a demo from the developer, and just give it a go. You might really enjoy it. And if you enjoyed this video, maybe leave a like or maybe even subscribe to find more content like this. Other than that, it's Marco here from Easily Distracted Games, and as always, don't stop gaming.